More is caught than is taught. So what are you modeling to your family, to your coworkers, to your teammates, and all those around you that helps build the culture that you need to build? Let's talk about it. Hey, welcome to the Purpose Project podcast today. My name is Brandon Goff. I am the host of this podcast. I'm also the pastor of Radiate Church in South Carolina, and I'm really excited that you're on here today and taking time to chase the purpose God has put on the inside of you. We started this podcast to really be a coaching tool, to challenge, to inspire, and to give practical applications of what it looks like to accomplish and chase the purpose God's put on the inside of you. We say every single week, at the beginning and the end, that we believe everybody has a purpose from God. Every single person has a purpose from God, and we want to do our best to help you accomplish that. I would love to ask for your help for a moment. If you could help us by liking and subscribing to this podcast, reviewing it, maybe even share it. Share it on your social medias. Share it to coworkers, family, friends, whoever you think would benefit from the podcast. We'd love to expand our reach so that we can help more and more people as we continue going to achieve the purpose God's put on the inside of them. Now, we've been in this series of talks about building culture in our organizations, in our businesses, in our families, and even our personal culture. And how important the culture is to supporting the vision that you have, right? And so Dr. Sam Chand, a world-renowned leadership expert, says this, that culture will eat your vision for lunch. Essentially what he's saying is, it doesn't matter how big the vision is if your culture sabotages it, if it destructs your vision. You have to, we said it like this in the first episode, that the vision is really like the blueprint, the sketch of the house, or this is where we're going, this is what we're wanting to accomplish, and we think this is what it's going to look like. But the culture is really the supplies and the materials that go into building it. The culture is the paint and the windows and the carpet and the hardwoods and the whatever. It's the experience of it. So it's like this. You really know your culture by asking this question. What are my customers, or what are people from the outside experiencing when they experience me, my family, our business, our church, wherever we are? What are they experiencing? Culture is the personality and the attitude that people experience of the organization that I lead. So we want to talk about, we've talked about how to build it through vision and through values. We talked about holding the mission really, really close, the why, going back and remembering the why. And today I want to remind you as the leader, okay, vision is bigger than one person, but it starts with one person. And I want to tell you today, you are a model. You're a model. All right, not that kind of model, but you're a model. You are the main chief architect and main model for the culture that you desire for your organization. And once you decide what you want your culture to be, what it needs to be to accomplish mission and accomplish vision, you now have to determine what it looks like. And watch this, you have to go live it first. You cannot walk into a meeting, give the mission, vision, values to them, the culture to them, and go, this is what it looks like, now go live it. You got to show it. You got to live it. As the leader, you have to go first. I tell my leaders, I tell my staff, I tell other pastors and leaders this, in the business world, this all the time. Leaders go first. So if you're a leader, I'm gonna push hard on this today. It's your turn to model the culture. If you currently have a culture that you want to make sure stays and you want to solidify in your organization, great, model it. If there's a culture that you know needs to be changed and some values that you need to pay attention to again, model it. That's great. All that's fine. One of my favorite stories when talking about this is a story in the Bible where the Israelites are running from the Egyptians, and they get to well, they're not running from the Egyptians. They're going across to cross the Jordan River. This is after the Egyptians, to cross the Jordan River again to get to their promised land. And God speaks to Joshua and he says, hey, this is what needs to happen. The priests are carrying the Ark of the Covenant. And so what I want you to do is I want you to have the priests who are carrying the Ark of the Covenant, which was representative of the presence of God. I want them to step in the water first. And he tells Joshua, when they get their feet in the water will begin to dry up or split, if you will. And so Joshua goes back and he sets things up and he tells the priest, he goes, hey, listen, I need you to get in front of the line, in front of everybody else. You are carrying the presence of God. You are carrying the purpose of God. You are carrying that. And so I need you to go before anybody else. And he says, I need you to step into the waters. I need you to be the first one in the water. I need you to feel the cold water. I need you to feel the rush of the current. I need you to be the one to go in there. Now, I want you to just think with me for a minute as a leader. Imagine Joshua or your boss, CEO, whoever, coming to you and saying something like that. Like, hey, this is uncharted territory. I believe something crazy is going to happen that's only happened once before, and like all this. I just need you to trust me. I need you to go into current raising waters, cold waters, put your feet in there and trust me that this is going to happen. I'm going to be honest, if I was one of the priests, I'd be like, Joshua, I think you're crazy. I don't know that this is going to work. But in the story, the priests take a step, and it says as soon as their feet got in the water began to dry up, and the water began to split. And it says that they walked across on dry ground. And as the priest got over on the other side, everybody in their nation, all the Israelites, all the kids, all the moms, all the dads, once everybody across, the priests now go last over to the promised land. Let's just stop there for a minute. As you're modeling the culture, you may also be the last one to experience it. You have to go first. You have to be the first one to go and go, I'm going to step out into the waters before I ask you to. I'm going to model honor before I ask you to. I'm going to model transparency before I ask you to. Whatever it is, when leaders go first, it gives permission for those you lead to go next. When leaders go first, it gives your whole team permission. And here's the thing. Your team just needs permission. If your team is coming to you for permission on everything, here's what you need to do. You need to sit down, look at your team and go, you have my permission to model the culture, to live the culture, and to make decisions. You need my perspective from this point forward. Set the culture by the way that you live. Set the culture in your home by the way that you lead. If you want a family that reads the Bible, if you want a family that is fun, if you want a family that is serious, if you want a family that is committed to fitness, whatever, you have to model it first. Leaders go first. We got to do that. And once you've decided the vision, once you've decided that sketch, that blueprint, that framework, once you've developed your values that are convicted in you, that you have a deep conviction about, and they mean something to you and your organization, right? Once you've developed those values, once you've determined the culture and what it's going to feel like and what it's going to be like and what are people going to experience, once you've started to hold that mission close and that why close and you're holding on to that thing, it is now time for you to walk. In fact, I'd encourage you that before you share any of that with your team, you walk it out first. You walk it out first. You know, I've talked about one of our values here at Radiate is get after it. Basically, we're going to put in the work it takes to accomplish the vision God's given us, right? We're going to do what we got to do. Well, one of the stories I tell people when we talk about that is when we first started our church 14 years ago now, man, I didn't have a big team. I had hand-me-down sound equipment, computer, everything that we would have service in an elementary school. And so the sound system and all that stuff lived at my house. Well, every morning at about 5 a.m., I'd get up, I'd load the speakers into the back of my truck, I'd put the soundboard in the back seat, I'd load it down with storage containers and with all the cables and wires and all the mics, and I'd go and I would personally set up that soundboard until people began to help and people began to buy in. In fact, in the beginning stages of our church, I would run the soundboard and the computer, and then I'd play a video. We call it a bumper video now, but I didn't play it because it was cool. I played it because I needed time to get from the soundboard to the stage to start the sermon until we found a sound man. So when I talk about we get after it, we do what we got to do to accomplish vision, and we find a way, and limitation breeds innovation and all that. I've lived that. I still live that. We set up, we tore down. I'm the one that did all of that stuff. And so when I look at people now and I'm like, hey, I get it, I know, but there will come a day where your team drives on. All that to say this, go first. Don't you dare ask your team to do something you won't do. Man, honor people well. Love people well. Whatever your values are. Here's some questions. Do you get to meetings on time? You want your team there early, but do you even get there on time? Do you, as a leader, are you a leader that cares about your employees or cares about their production? Here's what I mean. Do you, if you want a culture that loves people, do you even know about their kids' baseball game? Do you even show up whenever something's happening? Do you know their life? Are you invested in their life, or are you only invested in them as an employee? Now, you can't do that with everybody. The bigger your team gets, the smaller your circle has to get. But the people you're closest to, do you care? You still have to model that culture. Do you turn in your reports on time? Sure, your employees should, but do you? Are you always asking for more time for your reports? Are you responsive in your team chat? One of the things I cannot stand is to be left on read. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. I can't stand it. If I send something in our staff communication app, I tell my team, just thumbs up it or heart it or something. Just tell me you got it, right? You don't always have to respond. You don't always have to give an answer. I just want to know you saw it, right? And okay, that's an expectation I have. Am I doing that? I would like to say about 90% of the time I do. But there's still that other 10% I need to work on, right? And so it's asking myself, am I modeling what I'm expecting? Am I expressing what I'm expecting? Am I living out what I'm expecting? Am I going, hey, I got to be the first one down. I got to put my foot in the water first. I got to get uncomfortable first. There's a principle I teach here at Radiate a lot, that whatever you're willing to do, your team will actually go one step below that. They always go one step below the leader. The leader leads the way, right? And it kind of comes from a John Maxwell idea of the 5-star leader. 5-star leaders attract 3 and 4-star leaders, and the lower star leader you are, the lower star leader you attract. But here's basically how I teach it to our leaders at our Radiate Church. If you want your team to run, you have to sprint. You got to be willing to go faster than them. If you want them to run, you have to sprint. If you want them to walk, you have to run. If you want them to stand still, you have to walk. If you want them to sit down, you need to stand still. If you want them to lay down, you sit down. And if you want them to act dead, then you just lay down. Here's my point. If you want a team that runs hard, if you want a team that accomplishes vision, if you want a team that is sold out to mission, if you want a team, the leader sets the pace every single time. You cannot, a employee or a team member worth their salt will only outrun the leader for a short amount of time, and then they'll get frustrated because they're the only ones running. The leader's walking, the team's running. Are you running? Are you sprinting? What do you expect from your team, and are you willing? This is a real question. are you willing to go one step further? If you want them running, are you willing to sprint? Are you willing to sprint? Are you willing to go as fast as you need to go? Are you willing to do whatever it needs to take? Because your team will. It's not a might. I've been doing this too long. I've seen it over and over and over and over and over again. They will go one step below. Take that to your family. Take that to your family. If your kids or your wife never see you read the Bible, don't expect them to. If you treat church as an option, it's going to not be an option for them. If you treat prayer as just a way to get out of a situation, congratulations, they're not even going to pray. Are you with me? Everybody you lead, they're going to be one step below you. And so I would encourage you, as you're building this culture, you as the leader, the top dog, the CEO, the owner, the team leader, the whatever, the shift leader, wherever you are, you have to be so invested in the culture that even when nobody gets it yet, you are modeling it. That even when you have to talk about it every single day, you are still living it. And here's why. More is caught than is taught. They're going to see it, and then as you talk about it, they're going to go, oh, that's why he does that. Oh, that's what that means. Oh, I know what that means because I've seen him do it. Leaders, we have to go first. We have to model what we want to see. I'll say it like this. I say it like this in marriage talks all the time. You have to be what you want to see. You got to be the one to set the pace. You got to be the one to exhibit the culture. And it takes intentionality, and it takes strategy, and it takes pushing through, and it takes frustration. It takes all of it, but it is all worth it because we're chasing the purpose that God has for us. So this week, I want you to ask yourself, what are you modeling? And does it set the right example of the culture that you want to build in your team? What are you modeling? And does it set the right culture that you want to model, the right example of the culture you want to model for your team? And if not, if you're going, no, what I model is not what I'm expecting from my team. I walk around in a bad mood, but I want them to be in a good mood. You name it. Then what needs to be fixed? How do you fix that? How do you fix your face? How do you fix your actions? How do you fix your attitude? Whatever it is, I don't know, you fill in the blank. If it's not, how do you fix it? And if it is, how can you make it spread like a contagious culture? How do you get it into the framework and the fibers of your vision and your mission and your people, right? How do you get that in there? Now, as you're working on this week, I'm going to tell you the same thing I tell you every single week because I never want you to forget it. You matter to me, and you matter to God. And you also matter to so many other people. You have an incredible purpose on the inside of you that God strategically placed there as He was knitting you together in your mother's womb. And you can change the world. Now it's time to get after it.